For thousands of years, the Euphrates River has been the lifeblood of civilization. It was the birthplace of writing, the border of the Garden of Eden, and the water source for millions. But today, something terrifying is happening. The river is dying. NASA satellites confirm that the Euphrates is drying up at an unprecedented rate. Archaeologists are walking on riverbeds that used to be underwater for millennia. To a scientist, this is a climate disaster, but to a theologian, this is a countdown. The book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 14, contains a chilling prophecy. It says, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." It continues to say that when this river dries up, these entities will be released to kill 1/3 of mankind. For centuries, people thought this was symbolic. But now, as we watch the water disappear, strange reports are coming from the region. Reports of ancient caves being exposed, rumors of sounds coming from the ground, and the discovery of ancient prisons that were never meant to be opened. Today, the Obsidian Archives investigates the connection between the drying river and the entities waiting beneath the mud. First, we must look at the physical reality. The Euphrates is not just a stream, it is the longest river in Western Asia. It flows from Turkey, through Syria and Iraq, into the Persian Gulf. For 6,000 years, it never ran dry, but in the last decade, water levels have plummeted by 60%. Why? The scientific explanation is a combination of 3 things. First, massive dams built by Turkey, like the Ataturk Dam, are holding back the water. Second, decades of mismanagement and war in Iraq. And third, a severe, punishing drought that has gripped the Middle East. In 2022, videos went viral showing people walking across the center of the river on dry land. Entire ancient cities, which were submerged under the water for decades, have suddenly reappeared. Archaeologists rushed to the site. They found pottery, jewelry, and palaces from the Mitanni Empire civilization that disappeared 3,400 years ago. But while the archaeologists were looking for pots, the locals were whispering about something else. They pointed to the caves. As the water receded, strange, deep caverns were revealed in the riverbanks. Caverns that lead deep underground. And this is where the science meets the supernatural. Because the Bible didn't just predict the water would go away. It predicted why it had to go away. Let's look closely at Revelation 9. The text is very specific. It speaks of the 6th trumpet of the apocalypse. When it sounds, a voice commands, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates." The word bound is crucial. In the Bible, holy angels are never bound. They are free messengers of God. The only angels who are bound or chained are the fallen ones, the Watchers. This connects directly to our investigation into the Book of Enoch. We know that the Watchers were imprisoned in the earth, but Revelation specifies that for specific high-ranking leaders were locked specifically under this river. Who are they? Some scholars believe they are distinct from the Watchers of Mount Hermon. They believe these 4 are territorial spirits, ancient principalities that ruled over the empires of Babylon, Persia, and Assyria. They were so destructive that God had to chain them up to prevent them from destroying humanity too early. The prophecy says they are kept alive for a specific hour, day, month, and year. They are waiting for the water to vanish. Think about the symbolism. Water often represents a barrier or a veil in ancient texts. As the physical water evaporates, the spiritual barrier thins. If the prophecy is literal, then the drying of the Euphrates is not just a drought. It is the unlocking of a cell door. But the angels are not the only thing rumored to be down there. In 2003, just weeks before the invasion of Iraq, a strange story leaked out of the scientific community. German archaeologists claimed to have found something incredible using magnetization of the riverbed. They believed they found the Tomb of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was the ancient king of Uruk. He was 2/3 god and 1/3 man, a description that sounds suspiciously like the Nephilim giants we discussed in the Book of Enoch. The ancient epic of Gilgamesh text actually states that he was buried under the Euphrates. The texts say the people of Uruk diverted the river, built his tomb in the riverbed, and then let the water flow back over it to hide it forever. For thousands of years, this was considered a myth, but the magnetic scans showed structures that perfectly matched the description of the tomb. Then, war broke out. The expedition was halted. The area became a conflict zone. Conspiracy theorists argue that the timing was not accidental. They ask, was the invasion of Iraq actually a mission to secure these ancient technologies? Were they looking for the body of a Nephilim king, or perhaps, the prison of the fallen? While we cannot prove the conspiracy, the coincidence is undeniable. The river hides the history of the pre-flood world. Recently, a new phenomenon has taken over the internet. As the caves in the dried riverbed opened up, people began uploading audio clips. They claimed to record groans and screams coming from the earth. Viral videos claimed that these were the sounds of the four angels waking up. Now, we must be objective here. The Obsidian Archives verifies facts. Many of these viral videos were debunked. Some used audio from old horror movies. Others were simply the sound of wind rushing through hollow limestone caves. This is a phenomenon called resonance. However, the fear is real. The locals in the region are terrified of these caves. They refuse to enter them. They tell stories of jinn and spirits that dwell in the dried mud. Even if the audio is fake, the atmosphere of dread is authentic. We are watching an ancient prophecy unfold in 4000 resolution. The river is drying, the barrier is disappearing. Whether you believe in the Bible, the Sumerian tablets, or just climate science, the result is the same. The Euphrates is dying. If the scientists are right, we are facing a humanitarian crisis of water and food. If the theologians are right, we are facing something much worse. The prophecy says that once the angels are loose, they will lead an army of 200 million. The water is almost gone, the clock is ticking, and whatever is buried down there is about to be exposed. I'm Obsidian, and this is the Obsidian Archives.